Hey there, so in this video, let's talk about the general settings of CloseBot. So if you navigate over to Modify Bot and you're in this first general tab, this is what you see. So let's go over what this stuff is real quick. Now, if you hover over anything, you're gonna notice like quick little tips or descriptions about what it is. So label, this is literally just for internal use only, but I will caution naming this something based on your clients. I also put my clients' names here. So for instance, if I was using this as a live bot, and it was live, I would put live, or I'd put in progress if I was working on it, and then I would put the name of the business, and then I would put the client's name. That way it's very searchable, because if you go up here, you can literally see all your bots, and as soon as you get a lot of these bots, it's very important to know that you are labeling them correctly so you can easily search for them. So if I were to search detail bot, then I'm gonna see it pop up there, and then I'm here. But again, just a quick little tip there with labeling. Now let me delete this since it's just a template. Now bot name, this is what your bot is gonna refer to itself as. We pretty much use Chloe for the name unless our client wants to use something different, which sometimes our clients do take pride in naming their bots, and they become like family. It's kind of weird. Like we have a few that, like we have a Stella bot in Florida that is like, they always talk about it as Stella bot. They don't even call it AI. They say Stella's gone haywire or Stella just booked 5 appointments. It's kind of funny how they talk about her. But let your clients name the bot if you'd like. If not, we use names like Chloe or whatever you'd like to use there. So again, this is just what it is referring to itself as. Bot usage, 30-day limit. You can literally limit how many messages you want it to be able to handle in a month's time. Of course, if you leave it on this, it's, or you leave it unchecked, it's unlimited. But if you were just doing a trial or you were selling a subscription that only had a certain amount of messages with the AI, this is how you'd be able to limit that until that person were to go to that next tier or, however you wanted to do that. Response delay in seconds. This one is pretty cool because by nature, we pride ourselves on CloseBot being extremely fast. We have got a response time between 4 and 10 seconds, just depending on how long it takes high level to process things on that day. But it comes through very, very quickly, which is great for demos. In fact, I would leave this at 0 if you're ever doing a demo, because if you increase the delay, I don't know what it is when you're on like live Zoom calls or sales calls and you're showing this to somebody, but it feels like an eternity if it takes more than 10 seconds for a response. But if you want it to seem more human when you're dealing with real leads, meaning you don't want it responding too quickly, you can add a response delay. So if I were to add 15 seconds, this is gonna add 15 seconds to whatever that normal response time would have been. And it's gonna wait to send that message for 15 seconds after it's all processed and whatnot. So again, experiment with this, depending on your client, depending on the demographic, you can add that delay. I like it being snappy, but sometimes we do add a 10 to 15 second delay to make it not too fast. And then frequency AI typos. This one's a really cool one as well. If you want your bot to seem more human-like, meaning you want it to misspell things and then correct itself so the end user gets the sense that they're talking to a real human, well, this is how you do it, and it's on a percentage basis. So at 0, no typos. The AI is going to be very, very accurate, very swift. But if you wanted to have some typos, you could do 20%, for instance. Or if I'm on a demo, sometimes I will crank this up to 50 because I want to showcase that, hey, our AI is very indistinguishable from a human. We even throw these little things in there if you want to make it seem more human-like. But this means 1 out of 2 messages typically are going to have a typo, and then it's going to correct itself. But do be forewarned that that will incur extra message costs. So I want to let you know that. But I'm usually leaving this on 0 to 10%. And then frequency break up larger messages. This one's cool again as well because, depending on how you have your bot prompted, it can send some lengthy responses, which may seem human-like, may not, depending on your client. Obviously, try to mirror them as much as you possibly can. But if it's sending too long of messages, you can turn this up to 20 to 50. We recommend between 0 and 60 to get the most human-like responses. If you find that it's breaking them up too much, obviously drop that limit there. But if you want it to break up more messages, of course, increase it. I usually leave it about 20. So about 1 in 5 messages, it's going to break up, the larger messages anyway. So that way we're not sending too long of things to clients. Now, prohibited words, like if you wanted to swap things, for instance, in car detailing, I can't really think of any prohibited words, but we do work with like some financial brokerages, some real estate brokers, and sometimes, depending on the region that they're in, they have different compliance things, or sometimes they don't like to use the word cash. So we would, limit the use of the word cash, or whatever that is for your client. Again, I usually start with none of these on unless my client tells me, hey, I don't want it saying this. Then you put it here, and then the AI is going to find alternate words or words to swap it out for. Now, under the general settings here, you have a few different toggle switches, meaning you can turn it on and off. If we turn this on, it means that it is going to leave the conversation as unread, meaning that when you go into high level, it's going to have that conversation, and I'll show you here. Let me go back and go to my conversations. You have these little dividers up here, And if we have that on, then it's going to leave this as unread, so we can quickly see it in the unread filter here. If we have that off, then we are going to basically mark it as read, and it's not going to show up in that filter. Just depends on your client's preference. If they want to monitor all the conversations, then you can leave it on unread and they'll still see them up there. And then multi-objective handling. This one's a really cool one because, as you all know, we use a objective-based builder. There's a series of objectives, but let's just say in the car detailing space here, I want to know the condition of the vehicle. I also want to know vehicle type, and then I also want to know vehicle color. So if I were to ask at vehicle type, what type of vehicle do you have? And they say I have 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLE 63, and it's black. Well, they gave us not only vehicle type, but they also gave us colors. So if that is on this general settings, multi-objective handling, then it will not only include the year, make, and model here, which is what we want, but when it gets here, it's going to scan that conversation and see that it said it was a black vehicle, and it's going to fill this out also, and it'll skip past this objective because it already has that information. So super, super cool feature to have on there. Unless you want to get each question answered individually, up to you, however you want to do it. And then conversational rescheduling. This is a very new one, as you can see by the new at the time of shooting this video. But if the AI books an appointment, or even if the AI does not book an appointment and your client books an appointment through Go High Level, this will automatically reschedule that appointment if the client asks to do so via text. As long as you have that feature enabled, it will be able to reschedule and cancel the old appointment and schedule the new appointment. So really, really cool that it can do that all conversationally. So great feature to have if you toggle that on there. Always Aware AI. This one right here is another really, really cool feature. I know that I say they're all really cool, but they are like really, really cool. I've been using CloseBot for a very long time, and just to see that we have these features now is like, it's like a dream come true, because Always Aware AI is really cool, meaning that if, let's just say our bot's having a conversation, and then for instance, I were to step in and start talking through this portal, like I was a human talking through the desktop app or talking through my phone app, and I step in. Well, that's going to automatically turn off the AI as long as you have this little toggle switch on here. But if I get busy again and I don't have time to continue that conversation, I can remove that AI off tag, and then I can let the AI pick up where I left off as long as this toggle switch is enabled. It will scan the conversation and literally pick up where it was left off. So really, really cool feature to have on, because it will know what's going on all the time, and again, pick up where your clients leave off, they're after hours, et cetera, et cetera. So again, really cool things. You can monitor or turn these on and off at will. So play with them, see what you like best. And then the last thing I'll show you is you can basically prioritize how you want CloseBot to handle your responses. Do you want it to be done through OpenAI? Do you want it to be done through Anthropic? And you have a couple different options within those. So you have key, which means you're using your own OpenAI API key, which you will set up through Integrate if you're on a super user plan. Same thing with Anthropic. Now, I don't have an Anthropic key with this bot, so it does not have the option for Anthropic key. But if I entered that on the Integrate section, you'd see another Anthropic, but it would say key. So my priority is I wanted to use my own OpenAI API credits, so I'm using my own key. If something were to go wrong with that, my credit card fails, OpenAI fails for my account or something, the default fallback is the next one in line, meaning that it's going to use OpenAI credits. Now, anytime you see credits, these are purchased by buying them directly through us here at CloseBot. You click buy credits and you load it with a credit card, and then your credits work with OpenAI or Anthropic, negating the reason or need for you to get your own API keys with those. So again, you would just use those credits, but I have it falling back to OpenAI, and then if for some reason something's wrong with OpenAI that day, which is very rare, but it can happen, then it will fall back and start using Anthropic instead. So it's, again, always good to have credits on deck, so that way, if your key, if you're using it, fails, then it goes to credits, and experiment with OpenAI or Anthropic, which one you like, but this is how you basically prioritize it. So if you want to use Anthropic credits, and then if that fails, you want to use your OpenAI key, and then if that fails, you go to OpenAI credits, well, then you can do so, and that's how you do it. Now, last and certainly not least, just make sure that you use saving after you do anything, because I would hate for you to do all this, go somewhere else, forget to save, and then you lose everything that you set up. So that's your general settings, and that's it for this video. I will see you in another video.